Hey fellow shooters and marksmen, welcome to Marksmanship Past and Present. Now, in case you guys can't tell behind the wall, I like old guns and I like new guns, but I like old guns because a lot of them have some stories to tell. And I have one today that is actually got some pretty cool history behind it. We're going to talk about that. And it is actually this rifle right here, a Japanese Type 38 Arisaka. Let's bring the camera in a little closer and let's let you guys take a look at it. Alrighty guys, so like I said in the beginning of the video, this thing is a Japanese Type 38 Arisaka, chambered in 6.5 by 50, or more commonly known as 6.5 Jap. Just wanted to slide off the table. I didn't make that name up. Don't yell at me. Don't call me a racist. That just is what it is. It's 6.5 Jap. Okay, so now we're not going to go too much into the history. More or less, what I want to do is I want to tell a story how I acquired this thing and share with young collectors that are getting into this hobby that, yes, a lot of people say the surplus market, as what it once was, is dead. It is not going to be as cheap as it was, 10 years ago, even 5 years ago. The days of being able to get mosins for $100, $150, or $200, those are long gone, unfortunately. It just is what it is. But that said, there are still very good deals out there to be had. You can get some very cool rifles and pistols, and this is a very good example of that. So with that, I'm in Texas, and in Texas we have this wonderful website called Texas Gun Trader. Now, yes, just like Gun Broker or anything else, there is a bunch of overpriced crap on there, but once in a while you do come across some pretty good deals, and this is one of them. So I saw this rifle and I was like, okay, an Arisaka Type 38. I was like, all right, I was wanting a Type 99, but the Type 38's cool too. And I was looking at it and I was like, I know they use some of these for training rifles, so I researched what to look for, and basically they had a smooth bore on them, no bolt lugs. So I was looking at the pictures and I'm seeing, oh, okay, yep, that's got bolt lugs, so that's a good sign. He said there's rifling in it. But the thing that caught my eye on this guy was the fact that it had this. That is the chrysanthemum, or often called the mum. On a lot of these guns, you would find those ground off, because when these rifles were surrendered to the U.S. after the war, the Japanese would grind those off because that is the emperor's crest, and it was considered very disrespectful to have a rifle in the hands of an enemy as being captured and retain, or surrendered, I guess, and it retained the emperor's crest. So they ground them off before turning them in. So you'll see a lot of those out there. They're out there. So the chrysanthemum is definitely much more desirable. So it's cool that this had it. And the guy only wanted a little under $500 for it. And I was like, okay, this is a pretty good deal. So I got in contact with him, met up with him, and I met up with him in the morning, an hour away from where I live. And, we had a little bit of a conversation. We were talking about it. I looked it over, had a good bore in it. The rifling is strong. And I was like, okay, this is cool. I was like, check the action over. I think this is going to be a really good shooter. So I gave him the money and went on my way. Well, I had to go to work that afternoon, so I got home, spent about an hour looking it over, kind of checking over, checking the markings and trying to find some history out. Hours nowhere near enough time for that, by the way. Then I went to work. So I go to work, go do my shift, and then get back home. I close that night, so it's late. So I come home about 10 o'clock, and I'm like, you know what? I need to take this thing out of the wood, and let's check the underside of the barrel, make sure everything's good. I mean, it doesn't look like it's got any major pitting. A good amount of the bluing's on the thing. I was like, okay, we're probably okay, but let's check. So I go to do that, and, I take the barrel band, lift it up, take off the handguard, set that aside. Down here we go, and lo and behold, look at that. Oh, my God. The stock is cracked. It's broke. I bought a broke rifle. That's what most people would think. Only I know what this is. So that, and as soon as I saw that, I literally got on FaceTime with my brother. I called him up because he was active on Facebook. And I was like, dude, you're never going to believe what I got. You need to see this right now. And I panned the camera over to it. He's like, it's broke. I was like, that's not broke. That is a duffel cut. And for those that don't know what a duffel cut is basically, so when veterans brought these guns home, they would take the metal out of the wood, they would cut the stock down, so that way when you put that barrel band on this gun, you would never know.
Never. Even when I was inspecting it, I was looking over the wood and everything. I was looking at it. Dude, it's rigid. Like, you can't tell that was even there until I took it off. So what that tells me is, between that having the chrysanthemum and the duffel cut, that tells me that this gun 100% was a veteran bringback. This is as close to a vet bringback that you can get without it having capture papers. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that this gun was involved in the war some way. How it got over here, where it was used, whether it was in training and they overrun the place and captured it that way, or it was a battlefield pickup, we'll never know. But it is a cool rifle with a really cool connection and a really cool piece of history. I mean, it's neat. So with that, let's pan the camera back and let's have some closing thoughts on this topic.
All right, guys, so I way underpaid for that thing. I mean, there's no question on it. Now, I don't really care what the current value is of them other than for insurance purposes, which I inflate that price on those because they're getting harder to find and harder to replace. But there's no questions about it. Was that thing worth a little under $500 for me? Oh, you bet. Because I appreciate that history and that connection to it being a bring back gun, that it's just, that's what's so cool about collecting these old firearms is the stories that you can tell by researching through markings and stuff like that. And, you know, especially in that case, that's a pretty blatant truth that was a vet bring back. I mean, I had heard of duffel cuts, but I'd never seen one actually in the wild until I brought that one home. So I was ecstatic. So that kind of enjoyment to me, and then knowing and appreciating the history behind that rifle, whether it was a war rifle or not, there's no way of knowing. But appreciating that history is why I enjoy these things and why I collect these. Plus, it looks really good right above that Type 14. So, guys, there are deals out there. You can find some really crazy good deals, and that's why I wanted to share this video with you. If you're looking at getting into collecting these old guns, get them sooner than later because they are going up in price. You'll always be able to buy modern stuff. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't have a self-defense rifle or a shotgun or a pistol, but buy those, buy what you need, and then don't waste your money on dumb stuff. Go out and buy this stuff if you want to get into it because it's not getting any cheaper. It really is not. But if you do the research, there are still good deals out there to be had. So with that, guys, I'm Chris Smith from Marksmanship Past and Present. And as always, guys, I appreciate y'all watching. If you like this video, check out our channel. You might like some of the other videos that are like this. And if you do like it, you should subscribe. We do videos like this all the time. All right, guys, as always, I want you guys to stay safe out there. And remember, your right to self-defense is always self-maintained. We have to appreciate the past in order to appreciate our modern day self-defense firearms. We'll see you guys in the next one.